Breaking news and welcome back to This Just In's WWE 2k24 Universe Mode. Here we are seeing the Triple Crown Championship being decided between two competitors that have both held that championship at different points. Now we are seeing the ring introduction of Samantha Irving, a very important character in the story of Ricochet over the course of the past year. You see Ricochet enter this year as the Cruiserweight champion earlier this year. Well, rather, he would win that championship at Money in the Bank by defeating Speedball Mike Bailey. And Ricochet would go on to hold that championship for quite a few months before inevitably losing that Cruiserweight championship to Ilya Dragunov. And in his match with Ilya Dragunov back at Clash of the Castle was where we first saw the shades of the true Ricochet emerge, where he showed a side of himself that we had not yet seen here in Universe Mode. A devious competitor who would stop at nothing to maintain what he holds dear and what he possesses. And as mentioned, Ricochet, a former holder as well as of the Triple Crown Championship that he challenges for tonight. In fact, he is one of a few men to have held that championship under another alias. At the time, Ricochet was Prince Puma, who is the Triple Crown Champion, who defeated Tommaso Ciampa after his 245-day reign. Prince Puma would only hold that championship, however, for 36 days before losing to Tommaso Ciampa and later being avenged by Rey Mysterio. However, now we see another two-time Triple Crown champion, that of which being Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has had quite the arc here in Universe Mode over the past few years. He has feuded with the Bloodline relentlessly for over that Triple Crown championship in particular, and many different occasions, facing off against the likes of The Rock and also facing off against Roman Reigns on numerous occasions for that Triple Crown Championship. In fact, trading it back and forth, Sami was the champion for 168 days during his first reign, lost the title to Roman Reigns for 210 days, and then would win back that Triple Crown Championship back at Montreal at Elimination Chamber. Some great competitors in that match like Hiroshi Tanahashi, John Cena, and Dusty Rhodes and Roman Reigns, as well as Sami Zayn, all fighting for that Triple Crown Championship heading into WrestleMania. Now we see the introduction. Ricochet, a man who has turned his back on the fans over the course of the past year, and since losing that Cruiserweight Championship, has really struggled to step out of that prior glory that he has had as a champion. Next introducing, we see Sami Zayn, another man who has a history of championship wins here in Universe Mode 2 in his own right. Ricochet also very successful as the NXT champion here in Universe Mode. That goes way back to the third reign with that championship, but still to this day the second longest reign with the NXT championship in Universe Mode, before he would lose it in a historic rivalry he had with Mil Muertes here in Universe Mode. And now immediately out the gate, bicycle knee strike there from Ricochet. Goes for the pinfall now on Sami Zayn, looking for the flash victory there, as quickly Ricochet looks to put away Sami Zayn. Follows it up with a half and half suplex. Now sends him into the turnbuckle pad. Sami, you got to know, it meant so much to him last month when he was able to compete in Elimination Chamber and win that Triple Crown Championship in Montreal. But now he has to defend the championship, and it'll be hard to do so when Ricochet is hitting moves like that. A avalanche Spanish fly from the top rope, follows it up with a standing shooting star press to a grounded Sami Zayn. Pinfall attempt there, but only a 1 count from Sami Zayn, surprisingly, I must say. Ricochet looked to go springing off of the ropes there to catch Sami Zayn now with that half and half suplex, but Sami reversed it that time. Springing off the ropes though and catches him with that moonsault. So Ricochet still able to get the advantage there on Sami. Sami though looking to knock Ricochet off of the apron with that spear, but instead it's countered by Ricochet. Drops him hot shot across the ropes and follows it up with a tope atomico across Sami Zayn, who is face down. Now from the corner, stomp to the midsection and a slingshot leg drop to the outside. And once again going to go for the tope atomico senton. Relentless offense here from Ricochet in the early goings of this match, not letting up. And follows it up with a twisting final cut style suplex there on Sami Zayn. We're seeing some really great offense here from Ricochet in the early goings of this matchup. Ricochet now looking to bring Sami Zayn over to the turnbuckle, but countered out of it by Sami Zayn, who now takes Ricochet down face first and looks to lock in that Koji clutch. But Ricochet quickly able to get to the ropes there. Sami now back suplex, hoists him up into a blue thunder bomb, pinfall attempt, and a kick out from Ricochet there. Sami frustrated at this, looks to stomp the back of Ricochet, catches him with that grounded drop kick now that sends Ricochet back into the turnbuckle. Now it's Ricochet who counters out of that. Sami Zayn going face first into the turnbuckle pad, and once more Ricochet going to pick him up to the ropes. A little gin and juice there, going for the pop-up Hurricane Rana from the top rope. Great agility there from Ricochet, who now calls Sami Zayn back up to his feet. Looks to come diving in with that crossbody, but just barely comes up short. As now Sami looks to take the advantage. It's rare you see Ricochet fail on a high-flying risk opportunity like that, but just perhaps misjudging his target. But quickly follows it up with that turnbuckle drop kick, the triangle drop kick that sends Sami Zayn now to the outside. Rebounds off of the ropes and catches Sami Zayn on the way down with a tope con hilo. Ricochet is fired up here. Really has had this match in the palm of his hand for the most part throughout this match. Springboard 450 to follow it up. Ricochet has the championship in his sights and could be walking out of here with that championship based on his performance so far. And a two count there brings him close to achieving his goal of walking out of here with that Triple Crown Championship. Series of back elbows now from Sami, countered by Ricochet. And now looking for that half and half suplex that Ricochet utilized earlier on in this contest. Now Sami looking to utilize it for his own benefit. Back elbow from Sami, series of counters from both men, drop down. Another drop down from Sami. Both men collide there, and now rebounding off of the rope, springboard back elbow from Ricochet. The speed at which these two men are moving, and now another springboard elbow from Ricochet catches Sami Zayn, who fired up, tried to catch Ricochet off guard, but Ricochet, to his credit, far too aware, and now Northern Lights suplex follows it up with a brainbuster, looks to follow it up with a standing shooting star press, but the knees to the chest of Ricochet at the hands of Sami Zayn. Sami now sends Ricochet rebounding off of the ropes and catches him with the bridging German suplex. Pinfall attempt and a near 2 count there from Sami Zayn to Ricochet. Ricochet, however, now is going to land a cradle shock with Sami Zayn very close to the ropes there, but only a 2 count at the hands of Ricochet, coming very close to putting away Sami Zayn for the victory there. Rebounding off of the ropes, going to look to come running in with that European uppercut, but instead Sami Zayn catching him with the 2 boots to the face. Rebound off of the ropes, ducks it, and catches Sami Zayn with a decapitating clothesline. Springboard attempted top rope moonsault there from Ricochet. Now Sami targeting the legs, but Ricochet going to stomp to avoid it. Shooting star press there attempted once more from Ricochet with the double knees to the midsection yet again. And now backpack brings him over with that backpack driver, does Ricochet. Pinfall attempt and a near fall again, a 2 count. We all know you're going to have to do way more than that to put down Sami Zayn for the 3 count here, especially when championship implications lie in the balance. Roaring forearm smash there at the hands of Ricochet. Now drives the shoulder out of socket of Sami Zayn there. Drills it into the canvas. Springing to the outside, and now Ricochet going to look to follow it up here from the outside on the apron. Sami Zayn, though, gets the advantage with the strike to the face. Follows him out there and drops him down on the hardest part of the ring, a back suplex across the apron. Ricochet, however, getting back up to the apron. Now going to look to return back to the inside of the ring, springing to the outside with that slingshot crossbody. Follows it up with that attempted apron moonsault, but Sami Zayn sidesteps out of the way just in time. And Sami Zayn on the outside looking to follow up by going after Ricochet. Ricochet, though, sends Sami Zayn into the barricade. Super kick attempt countered by Sami Zayn, who answers with a shot, a kick to the midsection. Now Sami going to look to go for the Blue Thunder Bomb on the outside here, but it's Ricochet who answers back with that strike to the head and then a Bulldog. Ricochet now returning to the inside of the ring, breaking the referee's count as he was getting quite close to the 10 count here. More of a priority for Ricochet than it is for Sami Zayn, quite frankly. Diamonds carry position. Drops him down with the Benadryller. Or that should be the detonation kick, rather. Pinfall attempt here. Kick out from Ricochet. Irish whip attempt from Sami now sends Ricochet off of the ropes. Attempted leg lariat countered by Ricochet, who he sidesteps. Power slam attempt, though, now countered by Sami, who catches Ricochet off guard with that springboard tornado DDT. Sami now looks to follow it up, but instead Ricochet nailing that European uppercut, springing up to the top rope in quick succession to land that springboard moonsault. Gets him up in the fireman's carry now. Series of elbow strikes there from Sami Zayn, breaks free. Now a series of elbow strikes from Ricochet allows him to break free here. Power slam attempt, but no Sami Zayn reversing the pressure, nailing that reverse DDT. Sami now going up to the top rope here, diving down with a swanton bomb as he attempts to beat Ricochet at his own game by going high risk. Ricochet, however, nails that backpack driver yet again. Shooting star press from the top rope. Now a pinfall attempt here from Ricochet. 1, 2, and no, another near fall. Referee says 2, as Ricochet in disbelief at the fact that the shooting star press from the top rope wasn't enough to put away Sami Zayn here tonight. Clothesline to Sami Zayn takes him to the outside. And now Ricochet going to look to get a running start here. And nail a spaceman plancha to the outside. Once more landing that springboard moonsault from the corner. Ricochet's fired up here, knowing what he has to do to walk out of here with that championship and trying to enact on it. He has played a nearly perfect game here so far tonight, being dropped with that DDT, and perhaps this could be the momentum shift that Sami Zayn has needed throughout the course of this match. Really having a difficult time battling Ricochet here, who now answers back Sami Zayn was looking for a clothesline, but Ricochet answering back with that Spanish fly. Now picks up Sami Zayn from out of the corner, hoists him up, and drops him down into that sit-out powerbomb. Ricochet asking Sami Zayn back up to his feet here, turns Sami Zayn over as Sami Zayn now finally trying to mount a vertical base and get back up to his feet now. Fireman's carry position, follows through. Rolling through on that fireman's carry is Ricochet. Now going up to the top rope. Yet again going to look to go for the shooting star. Sami Zayn though counters out of it. Springboard tornado DDT, but it is sidestepped by Ricochet, who's able to get out with his quick agility, able to sidestep that. His hastiness. Now Sami Zayn comes running in with a haluva kick in the corner to Ricochet. Pinfall attempt here on Ricochet. One, and no. Ricochet gets the shoulder up despite Sami Zayn finally connecting the way he needed to with some offense in this matchup. There he looks for the Blue Thunder Bomb, but instead Ricochet takes him over with that headlock. Brilliant reversal from Ricochet. Now lands that Northern Lights suplex, hoists him up into the Brainbuster again. And Ricochet immediately, he is back in this matchup after being hit with that hell of a kick. It's almost like it's woken up another side of Ricochet. Calling his shot here, waiting for his chance on Sami Zayn to get back up to his feet. Sami Zayn looked to send him for an Irish whip, but brings him back in for that leg lariat. Ricochet counters out of that with a kick to the face. Forearm smash there. Countered by Sami Zayn with that fireman's carry. Now it's Sami who sends Ricochet off of the ropes. Looks to come in with that leg lariat. Reversal. Series of reversals, but it's Ricochet who gets the advantage with that European uppercut. Sami, however, immediately back up to his feet, nails that Northern Lights suplex. Thinking he is outsmarted Ricochet here. And a kick to the lower back. Series of strikes to the face now from Sami. And drives the shoulder into the canvas, does Ricochet. Roaring forearm smash there from Ricochet to maintain the advantage on Sami here. Now from behind, going to look to hoist Sami up for the vertigo. Spins Sami around, pulls the legs in away from the ropes. Pinfall attempt here too, and a very near fall yet again for Ricochet. Ricochet though quickly going to look to follow it up here with the People's Moonsault. There we see it. Nailing the People's Moonsault. Ironic because we will be seeing The Rock in the following matchup, so perhaps a shout out there. And follows it up with a diving double moonsault from the top rope. Pinfall attempt now, and Sami Zayn. How on earth did he do it? You see the frustration on the face of Ricochet. I have no idea how Sami Zayn was able to get the shoulder up there. Ricochet pissed off, obviously. Gets Sami Zayn back up to his feet and nails the recoil with intent. Now going back up to the top rope here is Ricochet. Looks to come diving down with that double axe handle, but Sami Zayn catches him coming in with that springboard dropkick instead. Folding up Ricochet on that recovery. Comes in for the clothesline, but Ricochet answers back with his own enziguri. Now Ricochet looks to bring Sami Zayn over to the corner, but a series of strikes get the reversal for Sami Zayn. Zayn now sends Ricochet into the corner. Now it's Sami Zayn with a series of strikes. Sami now going to look to get a running start. Rebounding off of the top rope and nailing that tornado DDT. Pinfall attempt now on Ricochet, but Ricochet quick to kick out. And now we see both men have been busted open in this matchup, bleeding from the head. And that is what the Triple Crown Championship has meant to the competitors of Universe Mode, is going through life and limb to fight for that championship. Sami Zayn knows what that takes. He has held that championship twice now. And Ricochet, another former champion to have held that Triple Crown championship. Now diving from the top rope all the way to the outside after winning that strike exchange with a shooting star press goes Ricochet. Now Ricochet sends Sami Zayn back to the inside here. Calling Sami Zayn back up to his feet. Looks for that springboard 450. Countered by Sami Zayn. Instead landing that standing shooting star press. Now Ricochet going to the outside. Fatigued, but he climbs his way up to the top rope. Follows that with a Phoenix Splash. 1, 2, and again Sami Zayn kicks out. The frustration on the face of Ricochet. You could see the desperation that he has in his face to put away this match and to obtain that championship. The things that these two men are willing to go through in the name of being that Triple Crown champion. Now it's Sami Zayn from the top rope. Calling Ricochet back up to his feet here, diving down, and Ricochet, the power, able to hoist Sami Zayn up as Sami's looked for a diving Hurricane Rana. Ricochet catches him in midair and powerbombs him down. Another near fall on Sami Zayn, but Sami not going to walk away from tonight without a fight for the championship that he has so desperately tried to fight his way back to. And now catches Ricochet coming in, rebounding off of those ropes quickly with that big boot. Pinfall attempt here, and how close was that? The hell of a kick from Ricochet coming, rebounding off of the ropes. And if Ricochet hadn't grabbed that bottom rope in time, we would be looking at Sami Zayn retaining that championship right there. Surprisingly, the referee was able to see the fact that Ricochet grabbed that bottom rope. In fact, I'm quite impressed with that capability. Now on the outside, Sami Zayn hitting that Blue Thunder bomb, sending Ricochet around the ring. Now gesturing to the outside, saying, "Is that all you got?" Now we finally find ourselves at a much more level, even playing field for these two men. Both these men probably suffering about the same amount of damage at this point. Bicycle knee strike there from Ricochet. Now Ricochet sends Sami Zayn into the turnbuckle. Looks to break the count there. As he will have to do for the championship. Ricochet, though, creating some space between himself and Sami Zayn now. Sami, though, slowly recovering off of the apron, now diving to the outside with that tope con hilo, but Sami too quick, able to sidestep and get up on the apron. But as he drops down, getting caught with that super kick from Ricochet. Now Ricochet sends Sami back to the inside here. Springboard out to the outside. Ricochet's high-flying offense springing into the inside with that clothesline. Ricochet's high-flying offense has really worked for him well here in this matchup. Springboard 450. He is pinging off of the walls like a ping pong ball, basically. He is moving like crazy all over the ring. Now follows it up with a Destino onto Sami Zayn. Ironic for Ricochet to be using that move following his NXT Championship victory over Tetsuya Naito so early on in Universe Mode. And now we see Ricochet rebounding off of the ropes, hitting that barrel rope tope con hilo from the inside out. Now a series of elbow strikes there from Sami Zayn. Both these men going deep into their bag of tricks to see what they can do to put away the other man here tonight. Fighting back and forth, but it's Sami Zayn who gets the advantage over by those steps. Irish whip reversals from both men. Now Ricochet fired up on the inside. Going to wait for Sami Zayn now to return. Comes running in and nails that bicycle knee yet again. Now Ricochet from the middle rope to spring off with that tornado DDT. That took every last bit that Ricochet had out of him. Fatigued at this point in this matchup, going well over 20 minutes so far. Now lands that shooting star press from the top rope yet again. Follows it up with a standing shooting star press. Now once more going to go to the top rope. Another shooting star press there from Ricochet. 3 in a row. Pinfall attempt now on Sami Zayn. And no! At the very last second, Sami Zayn gets the shoulder up. How did he do that? I don't believe it. But no, Sami Zayn now with the roll up on Ricochet. Pinfall attempt 2 and 3. Sami Zayn rolls up Ricochet. Unbelievable. What a finish to this matchup. Ricochet had put everything he had into this match. A series of shooting stars there. But Sami Zayn rolling up Ricochet, catching him off guard at the very last second, and retaining his championship here at WrestleMania. Coming up next, we have a Falls Count Anywhere match between the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and The Rock. First entering this matchup, we see a man who has had a storied career, but a storied year as well here in Universe Mode. The Macho Man Randy Savage appearing on the scene this year, facing the man that we just saw pick up a victory in the last match, Sami Zayn, way back at the first pay-per-view event of this calendar year for Universe Mode, that being Night of Champions. We saw start off the year Macho Man fighting with Sami Zayn for that Triple Crown Championship that Sami just successfully defended. Of course, then Randy Savage would go on to the Money in the Bank ladder match to win that briefcase, which would launch him into a couple months-long rivalry at SummerSlam, at Clash at the Castle, and then culminating at Hell in a Cell with a Hell in a Cell match against CM Punk, in which Macho Man lost that Money in the Bank briefcase, unfortunately, to CM Punk in that Hell in a Cell match. And because of that, having major ramifications for the later parts of this season, as CM Punk now finds himself in the main event of WrestleMania, having cashed in that briefcase. And now we see another man who is vying for his chance to be in the main event of WrestleMania, that being The Rock. The Rock earlier this year in Universe Mode held that United States Championship that we saw defended successfully earlier here tonight at the hands of another member of the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu. The Rock would also be the last man to enter and be the final boss of War Games, going on to submit Samoa Joe, in fact, and claim the victory for his team, and in doing so secured himself a World Championship match at the Royal Rumble that he would be unsuccessful in. But The Rock here in Universe Mode held that United States Championship following his victory over Kevin Owens earlier this year, before losing it in the main event of SummerSlam to Stone Cold, a match that also featured Hulk Hogan. The Rock was also in that inaugural tournament to crown the United States champion when it was the IWGP North American Championship, in which he lost to Roman Reigns. And now we find ourselves here tonight at WrestleMania, in which The Rock is facing off in an earlier contest than Roman Reigns, where he finds himself in the main event. So this power struggle throughout the Bloodline has existed throughout the course of the year. Roman Reigns feuding with The Rock siding with Solo Sikoa and some other members of the Bloodline, and Jacob Fatu as well, that has left Roman Reigns rather isolated from his brethren. But now we see Randy Savage and The Rock squaring off in this dream matchup. As mentioned, The Rock was in War Games and the victor for his team, securing himself that match at the Royal Rumble, in which he kind of got decimated at the hands of Samoa Joe in a one-on-one setting. If it wasn't for the backup that he had assisting him in the bloodline, which is a consistency we've seen throughout the year. Now in this Falls Count Anywhere matchup, we see The Rock going one-on-one with Macho Man Randy Savage, a man who has had a rather up and down year. As mentioned, he was the Money in the Bank briefcase holder in the first half of this year, winning that ladder match, but then having such a heated feud with CM Punk that briefcase will be put on the line in the Hell in a Cell match, where he would unfortunately lose it. Now a series of strikes there from The Rock to a grounded Macho Man. Macho Man able to reverse the pressure, though, with a series of forearm strikes of his own. Now Macho Man sends The Rock into the turnbuckle pad. Macho springing off of the ropes and lands that crossbody, coming in at such a high speed. We also see Macho Man busted open now and diving to the outside with that tope suicida. And the referee following them to the outside, as this is Falls Count Anywhere. Macho now fired up, lands a strike to the face of The Rock, who comes running in. Now brings The Rock over to that apron, face first now into the apron. Macho not having much difficulty or really much of a rivalry, I should say, with the Bloodline throughout the course of the year up until recently. In the past few weeks, Solo Sikoa making his life a living hell, for lack of a better term. Now on the outside, we see Macho working over the leg, dropping the elbow across the leg there. Series of boots now to the midsection. A combination of boots brings The Rock in with a clothesline. The Rock, however, countering that, rolling him up for a pinfall attempt there, and a kick out from Macho Man. Now Macho Man answers back with a series of strikes yet again, and lands it with the southpaw to finish off that combination on The Rock, and a series of strikes on the outside now. The Rock, however, answers back with an elbow strike, looks to get back up to his feet here, but instead, Macho continuing on the offense with these strikes. Close right fist to the face. Yet again, another close right fist to the face, but nothing that the ref can particularly do about this, really. Falls Count Anywhere I don't believe there's disqualification, because you can't exactly submit someone in the ropes. Now clearing off that announce table, and of course no countouts in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. Now Macho, with that table cleared off, perhaps going to look to bring The Rock over in that destination, but The Rock instead answers back with a Manhattan drop, and a second one now to Macho Man. Series of strikes now. And another southpaw to finish it off, the combination here from Macho. And a combination of elbow drops now too to The Rock, who is grounded. Now Macho returning to the apron, going to look to come diving down with that elbow drop, but The Rock able to move out of the way just in time, and successfully doing so to avoid the weight of Macho Man coming all the way down off of the apron on him. That would have been devastating for The Rock. Attempted belly-to-belly attempt there of some kind. The Rock fighting out of it, though, and now reversal there with the same thing. Macho Man catches him with that elbow across the head. Macho looked to come running in with an elbow of his own there, but it was countered by The Rock. Now The Rock with a power bomb to the apron, follows it up, spinning him around, power bomb, and then smashing him into the apron. Now The Rock on the outside introduces a baseball bat, looks to go for that all around the world DDT, but it's countered by Macho Man with a series of strikes, able to escape out of it. And now Macho picks The Rock up onto the announce table here, has him dazed, boot to the midsection, and drops him down with a DDT on the announce table, doing damage to himself at the same time, but perhaps it being worth it for the Macho Man, who now lands an elbow coming off of the table. Pinfall attempt here, as it is false count anywhere. We could be receiving a pinfall attempt on the outside, but no. Unfortunately for Macho, The Rock getting the shoulder up just in time. Now combination of strikes there from Macho. Now Macho Man is going to clear off our other announce table here at ringside. Going to look to perhaps utilize both of them to his benefit. The first one worked out pretty well for him, considering the DDT that he landed. But now this time The Rock fighting back before he can do so. Looks to bring Macho now over to that announce table. Savage fights back and now brings The Rock over, back and forth here. Now Savage picks The Rock up onto that table. Gonna look to go high risk to the top rope here. And gonna dive from the top rope, perhaps down onto the announce table. With a diving moonsault from the top rope all the way through the table. Pinfall attempt here, and no, only a 2 count. Good thing this match is false count anywhere, because a great majority of this matchup so far has been taking place out here. Now they're fighting amongst the commentators here in the ringside area. Power slam attempt. And that power slam on the outside, but The Rock now back up to his feet, sends Macho Man towards that barricade. Macho returning to the inside of the ring now as Rock introduces a kendo stick now to this match. Catches Macho coming in with that strike and answers back with a headbutt. Very appropriate for someone who claims himself to be the final boss of the bloodline. Pinfall attempt there, but not doing enough to put away or keep down Savage for the time being. Reversal we see there from Savage. Now has The Rock a gut-wrench powerbomb. Some surprising offense there from Savage, if I do say so myself. Follows it up with a knee to the midsection and a stomp to the back of the head. Now we see Savage go to the top rope, dives down with a Hail to the King. Pinfall attempt here now. 1, 2, and no, only a 2 count. Savage fired up though. Waits for The Rock to get up. Standing up in the corner now. Comes running in with that lariat. Rebounds off of the ropes and follows it up with a running forearm smash. And Savage a house of fire here. Next, going to look for that front face lock, but it's countered by The Rock. Answers back with that huge spin-out clothesline. Now it's Rock who sends Macho off of the ropes. Looks to come in with that back elbow reversal. Macho now in the corner. Going to look to hit that springboard crossbody that we saw earlier on in the match, and does so to succession. Follows that up now with those grounded elbow drops that we've seen Savage used successfully here tonight. Now ascending to Brett's rope is Macho. Calling Rock back up to his feet here and comes diving down with a crossbody. Tremendous amount of pressure applied there to The Rock on that dive. And then rakes the eyes to follow it up for good measure. Takes him down with a sleeper slam and a knee drop, but instead The Rock counters out of the way of that last part. Sends Macho over the top rope into the outside. Now we see once more The Rock looking to introduce a weapon to this match. Another kendo stick here on the outside. Continuously utilizing that on Macho until that kendo stick snapped in half and broke into pieces, we see here. And Macho now answering back with a series of strikes and a pile driver onto the remnants of the announce table here on the outside of the ring. Now Macho going to look to follow it up on the inside by going to the top rope, diving down to the outside with that elbow drop all the way from the top rope down onto the shards of the table. Pinfall attempt now, and such a near fall. Only a 2 count though for all of that for the Macho Man. Now gonna stay on the offensive with those elbow drops. I think the fact that the referee was located inside the ring there was the only thing keeping Savage from getting the 3 count. The referee taking an extra second or two to return from the inside of the ring back to the outside following that elbow drop might have cost Savage here. Now we see The Rock answering back, series of strikes. Reversal now from Savage. Once again going for those series of elbow drops here on The Rock. Now Savage getting him back up to his feet here. Power slam attempt. The strength of Savage now again on display. Drops The Rock very awkwardly across that barricade, but now The Rock surprisingly able to reverse a pinfall attempt, roll up there. But now Savage answering back with a series of strikes, lastly ending with that southpaw strike across the face. Chair now being introduced on the outside of the ring at the hands of Macho Man, utilizing that to strike The Rock multiple times with that chair. Now cracks The Rock with a chair shot to the head as he gets up. Macho now returning to the inside of the ring. Fired up at the approval of the fans. Looks to dive to the outside with that tope, but The Rock sidesteps it at a very awkward angle for Macho to land. Now The Rock following that up with a series of strikes on the outside. Rock looking to return Macho Man back to the inside of the ring, but Macho fighting it off now. A clubbing strike to the back and follows it up with a double axe handle for good measure. Now sends The Rock hard into the barricade, stomp to the back. Reaching underneath the ring now, it's Macho Man who's going to introduce the kendo stick this time, leaving the kendo on the inside of the ring. Clothesline on the outside there from The Rock, catches Macho coming in at great velocity with that, taking him down, and now series of strikes. Reversal out of the power slam there from Macho as he looks to send the action up the stage there. Rock now looking to return back to the ringside area because he knows it benefits him there, whereas Macho, a little bit more unhinged, looks to send The Rock up the stage actually. Now drives him down with that suplex on the stage to devastating effect, but surprisingly Macho being the first one to get back up to his feet here. Now continuously bringing him higher up on the stage. Power slam attempt now from Macho. Power slam attempt. Macho sends The Rock off of the stage, and now going to follow it up with a Hail to the King. Diving elbow drop as well off of the top of the stage. Pinfall attempt here. 1, 2, and no. A kick out from The Rock. Macho desperately trying to get that pinfall, no matter by any means necessary, using the environment to his advantage now, all the way this high up on the stage. And now we see Macho spinning The Rock at such great speed, great velocity here, now dizzying The Rock with this airplane spin, going round and round and round in the fireman's carry position. Now up to the stage we see here Macho going to look to come diving down on The Rock with that double axe handle. choking the Rock out on the floor here now. And comes running in with that elbow strike yet again on the Rock. Macho once more. Gonna look to dive off of the stage. Yet again coming in with that elbow drop. Pinfall attempt and again getting that 2 count. Once more another near fall for Savage on the Rock. Now Savage bringing the Rock to the stage side area here. The auxiliary area where the utility crates are usually kept. And now we see Savage pointing around himself, keeping his eyes tuned and on watch for any Bloodline members. Now sends the Rock face first down and once again into the mat. Now Macho returning back over to the stage area, going to look to dive down on the Rock, who he positioned on the other side, but once he gets up there, he realizes the Rock now is right behind him, has ascended to the stage with him as well. Now Macho with the power, able to hoist up the Rock in that military press, catches him with the Go to Europe, European uppercut on the way down. Macho again keeping his lookout for anyone around him, but in doing so almost allows the Rock to sneak up on him. Instead catches him with that chop coming in yet. Samoan drop. Pinfall attempt could be happening here from the Rock if he's able to muscle his strength together to cover that pin. But instead, both men getting back up to a vertical base. Instead, Macho Man now rolling out of the way, catching the Rock with that axe handle, and now has him up, cradling him in that power slam position, and slams him down with a huge power slam on the stage, making sure everyone is watching. Great showcase from Macho Man here tonight. Returns the Rock back to the ringside area now, after all that fighting that was done up by the stage. Rock now returns to the inside of the ring and acquires a kendo stick for his own protection here. Macho, though, going to rebound off the ropes, catches the kendo stick being thrown at him from the Rock on the way in, but instead the Rock going to drop him with a Samoan drop on top of an additional kendo stick. Now before he could get back up to his feet, Rock going to take him down with a suplex, powering him up. Macho now answering back, series of elbow drops. Macho going to the top rope, could be looking for that elbow drop that he has made work for him so many times in this match, but no, instead getting back up to his feet is the Rock. Macho now diving down with that clubbing strike. Sidestepped at the hands of the Rock. Now the Rock in control. Rock now introducing those steel steps, but gets caught with a baseball slide by Macho Man on the outside. Macho going to look to dive down on the Rock, but Rock changing the axis of his approach there, looking to enter the ring from a different angle, and looks like it has worked to his benefit there. Macho answering back with that elbow strike, countered, and now instead a back elbow takedown from the Rock. Elbow strikes now, fighting out of it. Comes running in, but caught off guard is Savage. A series of more back elbows. clothesline there, taking it down. Now as Macho looks to get back up to his feet here on the inside, The Rock introducing steel steps on the outside here. When Macho catches him coming back in with that arm wrench clothesline. Once again going to ascend to the top rope. Macho looking for a diving elbow drop. But instead of going for the pinfall this time, Macho picking The Rock back up to his feet. Fireman's carry, roll through, Death Valley driver. Pinfall attempt now, 1, 2, and no, yet another kick out from The Rock. But how close was that? You see on the face of Macho Man that he could not believe that that pinfall did not go through the way that he had intended. Now sends The Rock into the turnbuckle, running knee strikes, series of stomps as well to follow it up. Macho is fired up now. Suplex attempt. Turns it into a power slam, does Macho. And a stomp to the face also. Now turns The Rock over into that camel clutch. Releases the pressure, however, and instead nails an arm wrench clothesline yet again on The Rock. Oh, this is why now we see Macho instead looking to apply a figure 4 leg lock rather in favor of doing that camel clutch. He has elected to lock in the figure 4 to great effect. We see The Rock desperately trying to fight for a way out of this hold. You saw the agony that he was in right there. Now another arm wrench clothesline from Macho Man. Picks The Rock back up to his feet here. Could be looking for a spin out neck breaker. Looks to drive the knee to the face yet again. But reversed at the hands of The Rock. The Rock turns him around. Reversal, waistlock advantage reversal. Back elbow there, reversal from The Rock. Turns Macho Man around and into a rock bottom from The Rock. Rock bottom. Pinfall attempt now. 1, 2, and a near fall. But somehow Savage getting the shoulder up there. The first big offense of this matchup from The Rock, I must say. And now breaking another kendo stick over Savage, this time from a seated position where he just cracked him with it. Absolutely devastating from The Rock. Now The Rock showing off for the fans here, knowing what he just did is not going to be sitting well with a lot of the people here in attendance. Now a series of strikes raining down from The Rock, a kick to the back as well. Shot below the belt there as well. The Rock really not winning any favor with his offense here. Seated suplex. Now we see from The Rock attempting to lock in a submission maneuver of his own. We saw the figure 4 leg lock from Macho Man. Now we see the sharpshooter being applied here at the hands of The Rock. Macho, however, countering out of it, looks to come in with that sliding clothesline. Rock shoves it off instead. Overhead belly-to-belly suplex off of that Irish whip rebound. Now the sledgehammer looking to be introduced at the hands of The Rock, but instead Macho Man catches him off guard with that elbow coming running in. Now Macho Man returning to the corner where he has removed the turnbuckle pad there, ducks underneath and catches The Rock off guard with that clothesline. Now Macho looks to bring The Rock over, hanging him on the ropes, chop to the face, and now The Rock spilling to the outside. Diving to the outside with a tope forearm smash from Macho. Now Macho returns to the inside of the ring, grabs that steel chair and sends it to the outside on top of The Rock. Just throwing the chair at him, diving down from the top rope with the Hail to the King elbow drop once more. Pinfall attempt now. 1, 2, and no! The Rock again kicks out. How on earth did The Rock kick out that time? I really cannot believe the amount of offense that Macho has thrown at The Rock, and still The Rock kicking out, really with a point to prove here tonight. Rock now turns around Macho, nails that huge rock bottom again for the second time. Kick out from Macho though. Macho Man is still in this. He is fighting back, and he will not be denied. 3 minutes of playtime. You know that Macho Man Randy Savage needs to walk out of here with the victory after the fight that he has put on tonight. Dig it! And now series of chair shots. Ooh yeah. You can feel the machismo in the air. Series of back elbow strikes from The Rock now. All around the world, DDT connects that time. Series of strikes there from Macho Man, answers back. Now Macho Man sends The Rock face first into that exposed turnbuckle pad, utilizing that to his own benefit. Now Macho from the outside gonna look to introduce the steel steps now that The Rock took apart earlier on. Now from the top rope we see stalling vertical superplex onto the steel steps from the top. Devastating impact there. 2 and no! Again, Macho Man cannot believe it, but somehow The Rock gets the shoulder up. Really not making this victory easy for Macho Man, but Savage gonna follow it up with that grounded drop kick. Discus punch to the face. Now we see Macho. Power slam attempt. Countered by The Rock. Answers back with that chop block, taking out the leg. Now it's The Rock with Macho in the corner. Looks to get the advantage, but countered by Macho. Macho instead going to answer back with that suplex power slam. Returns back up to the top rope, perhaps for one more time. Diving elbow drop. The elbow colliding with the head on the way down. Pinfall attempt here. 2 and 3. Macho Man Randy Savage has officially done it. He has put away The Rock here at the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania in an incredible Falls Count Anywhere match that surprisingly did not feature any of the members of the Bloodline. Perhaps The Rock asking for them to stay back for the sake of this match, for the chance to prove his importance to the Bloodline, but in doing so has lost to Randy Savage, a man who has had a up and down year throughout this course of Universe Mode, but finalizing it on a tremendous win over the head of the Bloodline is Randy Savage. Ooh yeah!